I'm sure you've noticed at least once an unusual smell when you enter an apartment where elderly people have lived for a long time. This specific aroma, often called the smell of old age, is familiar to many of us. And although it's commonly believed to be a natural part of aging, I'll tell you right away, that's not the case at all. This smell can be dealt with quite easily, and it's much simpler than you think. Let's be honest, nobody wants to emit a smell that others will perceive as a sign of age. After all, years are wisdom, experience, and a rich life journey, not an unpleasant aroma. You definitely don't want to be associated with the smell of old age, and that's why today we'll talk about simple but very effective methods to get rid of it. Did you know that this smell is not at all related to hygiene and the cleanliness of clothes? Sometimes an elderly person very carefully follows the rules of personal hygiene, but the smell still remains. Why does this happen, and what exactly needs to be washed to literally get rid of this smell in 3 minutes? You'll find out soon. Believe me, you'll be surprised how simple these steps are and how quickly you'll feel the result. By the way, very soon I will reveal to you not only the secret of proper washing, but also explain how one small action can radically change the atmosphere in your home. One of my tips will definitely surprise you because most people don't even realize how effective it is. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you don't miss other useful and inspiring videos. Why does the smell of old age appear at all, and can it be removed forever? The answer to this question lies not only in the peculiarities of the body's function, but also in places that you most likely haven't even thought of washing in this way. Today I will give you 5 proven ways that will help you forever forget about this problem and feel fresh and confident again, despite your age. Well, are you ready to find out how just 3 minutes a day can change your life and bring back the feeling of freshness and self-confidence? Then let's go. First, an unobvious place that everyone forgets about. Every day we take a shower, take care of facial, hand, and body hygiene, carefully ensuring that we remain clean and fresh. However, few people realize that there is one small and unobvious place that almost always remains without proper attention. And it is precisely this place that becomes one of the main sources of that very smell of old age. We are talking about the skin behind the ears and right behind the earlobes. The problem is that the skin behind the ears is unusually delicate and contains much more sebaceous glands than on other parts of the body. These glands constantly secrete sebum, a substance necessary to protect the skin, but in old age it becomes thicker, stickier, and difficult to wash off with ordinary water. Over time, dead cells, microparticles of dust, and remnants of shampoo or gel that were not completely washed off begin to accumulate in this area. As a result, an ideal environment is created for the reproduction of bacteria that cause a specific smell. You can often hear elderly people wonder, "I wash regularly. Why does this smell still remain?" The issue is not a lack of hygiene, but precisely that the skin behind the ears often remains out of the zone of attention, since visually this place is almost invisible. And even taking a shower daily, many forget to simply run their hand with soap behind the ear, believing that this is not necessary. To solve this problem once and for all, it is enough to devote literally 3 minutes a day to washing the area behind the ears. Take warm water, a little mild soap or shower gel, gently without strong pressure. Massage the skin behind the ears with your fingers for about 1 minute on each side. After the first time, you will feel noticeable relief and freshness, and after a few days of regular use, this procedure will completely rid you of the unpleasant smell. Many of my viewers admit that just a week after they started regularly washing this area, their loved ones began to notice a striking change. People around stopped paying attention to the specific smell, and the elderly themselves felt much more confident and younger. A pleasant bonus is the improvement in the condition of the skin behind the ears, which has now become much softer and healthier, and this means that the risk of irritation and itching has significantly decreased. It is also important to remember that after washing, this area must be thoroughly dried with a towel, avoiding the accumulation of moisture, since it is a moist environment that is especially attractive to bacteria. In addition, light moisturizing with cream or a special lotion after showering will help keep the skin elastic and prevent the appearance of unpleasant odors in the future. Try this simple method today, and you will see for yourself how just 3 minutes of attention to such a seemingly insignificant area of the body can change your life and the perception of people around. After all, age is not a reason to lose freshness and self-confidence.
Second, a simple solution to the problem hidden in your home. I perfectly understand that you are used to taking good care of yourself and don't skip a shower or bath, regularly change your clothes, and use perfume. However, even with all the thoroughness and hygiene, some areas of the body remain in the shadow of our attention, accumulating unpleasant odor. One such area is the skin on the neck, especially in the nape area. It is these areas that become the second most important point that provokes the appearance of the notorious smell of old age. Why does this happen? The fact is that the skin on the neck and nape changes its structure with age and becomes thinner and more sensitive. At the same time, the sweat glands in these places continue to work active, but the composition of sweat gradually changes. It becomes thicker and more saturated, which allows bacteria to multiply actively, releasing an unpleasant odor. You've probably noticed that the collars of shirts or sweaters start to look stale after just a few hours of wearing, and sometimes even a slightly greasy film appears on the fabric. This happens precisely because we don't thoroughly clean the skin in these areas. The skin on the nape and neck requires special care and attention. Otherwise, accumulated sweat and bacteria will create a persistent and unpleasant smell, which we will unconsciously begin to associate with age. But the solution to this problem is literally at your fingertips. In your home, you most likely already have the ideal remedy that can easily and quickly get rid of this specific smell. I'm talking about ordinary baking soda. Yes, that very soda that usually stands in the kitchen and that you may have never thought of as a personal hygiene product. The fact is that baking soda has unique properties. It not only deeply cleanses the skin, but also neutralizes unpleasant odors thanks to its alkaline composition. To use this simple but surprisingly effective method, it is enough to take a small amount of soda, about half a teaspoon, mix it with a small amount of water to form a thick paste, and apply it to a sponge or your finger. After that, gently, without strong pressure, massage the skin of the neck and nape for about 1 to 2 minutes. Then rinse thoroughly with warm water. After the first application, you will feel incredible light cleanliness of the skin. Many people note that after such a procedure, clothes stay fresh much longer, and the unpleasant smell disappears literally before their eyes. Moreover, soda helps not only eliminate odor but also gently removes dead skin cells, improving its structure and making the skin healthier and younger. A huge plus of this method is that baking soda is completely safe, even for the most sensitive skin, if you don't rub it in too hard. It does not cause irritation and does not dry out the skin with moderate use. The main thing is to use it no more than once or twice a week, so as not to disrupt the natural balance of the skin. Try including this simple, affordable, and incredibly effective method in your regular care. I guarantee you that the result will pleasantly surprise not only you but also those around. Remember, freshness and cleanliness of the skin are not just external beauty. This is your confidence and ease in communicating with people at any age. Third, a shortcut to freshness that cosmetologists keep silent about. You've probably heard advice from cosmetologists many times about proper care for the face, hands, or body, but as a rule, professionals somehow forget to mention one of the most important areas that very quickly begins to give away our age and create a specific smell that causes unpleasant sensation, not only for those around us, but also for ourselves. This area is the elbow creases and the area behind the knee. It may seem strange that these hidden areas of the body are capable of emitting a strong odor, because we usually don't notice any obvious dirt in these places. But in fact, a large amount of sweat, sebum, and keratinized cells accumulates there, especially with age. The skin in these areas is very thin, delicate, and the folds on it become an ideal place for bacteria to multiply. The fact is that there are more sweat glands on the skin of the elbow creases and behind the knees than on many other parts of the body, and it is they that secrete sweat with a stronger odor. When moving and with bent limbs, a moist environment is created that bacteria especially love. It is they, and not the sweat itself, that provoke the appearance of an unpleasant odor, the so-called smell of old age. You may have noticed that even after showering and thorough towel drying, after some time, a light but persistent smell is felt from the hands or feet, especially in hot weather. The reason for this phenomenon is that ordinary washing with water and soap is not always enough for high-quality cleansing of such areas. An additional and very simple step is needed, which cosmetologists rarely recommend for some reason. Here, ordinary apple cider vinegar comes to the rescue, which you probably already have in your kitchen. It is enough to dilute 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of warm water and gently wipe the skin in the folds of the elbows and behind the knees with this solution using a cotton pad or a soft cloth. After the first application, you will notice an amazing effect. The skin will become not only fresh, but also significantly softer. Vinegar has a natural antibacterial effect. It effectively eliminates the bacteria that are the source of the unpleasant odor. In addition, apple cider vinegar normalizes the skin's acidity, which prevents the appearance of new bacteria and keeps the feeling of freshness and cleanliness for a long time. This simple and affordable method will instantly remove the unpleasant smell without causing dryness and irritation. And the main advantage of this method is that it is suitable for absolutely everyone, even people with sensitive skin. By applying the vinegar solution just once or twice a week, you will forever forget about the unpleasant smell and get an additional bonus: smooth and well-groomed skin in those places that previously caused discomfort. Start applying this little secret today, and you will be truly surprised why cosmetologists never told you about it before. After all, sometimes the most effective solutions are right at our fingertips, and only a few people know how to use them. Now you are one of those who possesses this simple but incredibly valuable knowledge.
Fourth, a little-known secret that our grandmothers used. How many times have we heard that everything new is well forgotten old? This is especially true when it comes to body care secrets that our grandmothers knew perfectly well. In those days, there were no modern cosmetics and various deodorants, but elderly people did not experience particular problems with unpleasant body odor. Why is this problem relevant now, with such an abundance of cosmetics? The answer lies in a simple, time-tested method that we have practically forgotten. I am talking now about the feet and toes. It is this area that can become one of the strongest sources of unpleasant odor in old age. Many people are surprised how this is related to the overall body odor. The fact is that the skin of the feet is a kind of reflection of the general condition of the body, as well as an environment in which bacteria that cause a specific odor actively multiply. With age, our feet begin to sweat more, the skin becomes rougher, and cracks and peeling appear. Sweat, sebum, and dirt accumulate in these microscopic cracks and folds, which leads to a rapid growth of bacteria. That is why even with regular washing of the feet, the smell does not always disappear completely. The situation is aggravated by the use of tight or poorly ventilated shoes, in which the feet literally suffocate. Our grandmothers knew perfectly well about this feature, and to solve the problem, they used a simple and affordable method for everyone: foot baths with salt and a decoction of medicinal herbs. This method not only eliminated the odor, but also healed the skin of the feet, making it smooth and healthy. How to properly use this forgotten secret? It's very simple. Once or twice a week before bed, make a small foot bath. Pour warm water into a basin. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of ordinary table salt, and, if possible, a few drops of essential oil, such as tea tree or eucalyptus. If there are no oils at hand, you can add a decoction of chamomile or calendula. These plants effectively eliminate odor and fight bacteria. Immerse your feet in the bath for only 10 to 15 minutes, and then gently rub your feet with a pumice stone or a special brush to remove keratinized areas of the skin. After the procedure, thoroughly dry your feet with a towel, and be sure to apply a moisturizing cream, paying special attention to the toes and heels. You will notice the result after the first procedure. Your feet will not only be fresh and pleasantly smelling, but also well groomed. Regular use of such a simple method will allow you to completely forget about the unpleasant smell of your feet, and therefore the overall body odor will significantly improve. This method is so simple and affordable that many people don't even believe in its effectiveness until they try it. But remember your grandparents, who even in old age exuded only warmth and kindness, and not the smell of old age at all. Now this amazing and simple secret has become available to you too. Use it regularly, and you will see how your well-being and self-esteem change for the better. Fifth, a mistake that even the most neat people make. I have noticed many times that even the most neat and clean people sometimes face the problem of unpleasant odor. Despite daily care and adherence to all the rules of personal hygiene, it would seem that what else can be missed if you regularly take a shower, take care of your clothes, and thoroughly look after yourself. And yet, there is one common mistake that few people think about, but which can significantly spoil the impression even of the most well-groomed person. This mistake lies in insufficient attention to the condition of the navel. Yes, it is the navel that often becomes the very area that most people completely forget about. We take a shower, wash our hands, face, neck, but rarely think about the fact that a huge amount of dust, sweat, and bacteria accumulates daily in the navel. The older we get, the more pronounced this problem becomes. After all, the skin loses its elasticity with age, and remnants of cosmetics, soap, and even elements of clothing begin to accumulate in the folds. The fact is that the navel is a closed area where an ideal moist and warm environment is created, which literally attracts bacteria. They actively multiply, provoking an unpleasant odor that then spreads to all clothes and the body. The problem becomes especially noticeable in old age when the skin folds become deeper and air access to this area is limited. How to properly care for the navel to get rid of this problem once and for all? In fact, everything is very simple and does not require special means. You will need only a little water, mild soap, and a cotton swab. In the shower or after it, gently lather the navel with your fingers, and then thoroughly clean it with a cotton swab, carefully removing accumulated dirt and skin debris. It is important to remember that this should be done carefully, without excessive pressure, so as not to cause irritation. After you have cleaned the navel, rinse it thoroughly with clean, warm water, and be sure to dry it with a soft towel. Repeat this procedure regularly, at least 2 to 3 times a week, and very soon you will forget about the unpleasant smell. Additionally, you can use a simple home remedy to finally eliminate the unpleasant aroma and bacteria. Take a cotton swab and slightly moisten it in a solution consisting of 1 teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide per half a glass of water. Gently wipe the inner surface of the navel with this solution, and then dry it with a soft towel. This additional step perfectly disinfects and destroys the remaining bacteria, preventing them from developing again. It's amazing how little attention we usually pay to this area, and how easily you can get rid of the problem by simply slightly changing your usual approach to hygiene. By regularly cleaning the navel, you will not only get rid of the unpleasant smell, but also feel much more confident and younger, regardless of your age. Try applying this advice tonight, and I am sure the result will pleasantly surprise you. Don't let a small mistake spoil the impression of you. After all, you deserve to feel fresh and confident always. As you can see, getting rid of the smell of old age is much easier than we are used to thinking. Sometimes, to do this, you need to pay attention to those places that we don't even think about. But it is in these small details that the key to freshness and self-confidence lies. Now you know how in just 3 minutes you can change your well-being, mood, and even the attitude of others towards you. Remember that age is not a verdict at all, but a period of life filled with wisdom and experience. And it is very important that others perceive you precisely as such. A fresh, confident, and pleasant person who takes care of themselves and respects themselves. Don't forget to regularly apply the advice I shared today, and the result will not be long in coming. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends and loved ones. I would be very pleased if you write in the comments which of today's methods became a real discovery for you, and which one you have already started using. And of course, subscribe to the channel because there is a lot more useful information and simple tips waiting for you here that will help you maintain your health, youth, and great mood. See you soon, friends.